about the Mandalorian stuff real quick. So the Mandalorian executive producers, Dave Filoni, is talking about how they're going to handle Cara Dune's storyline. Obviously, we all know what happened with Gina Carano. We all have heard the story.
Never heard of it.
Who? Never heard of Gina Carano? Well, basically, the idea here is they're saying that she's just going to exist in this. The character of Cara Dune will just exist in this universe, and my guess will be that they recast her later. Would you say that? Do you think they eventually recast her?
Well, they're implying in every way that she's still alive.
Yes, the character will still alive and is just magically not involved in this season. It's like, where did she go?
But their answer about it is the most non-answer answer ever. They just said Cara was a big part and continues as a character to be a part of the world. It had to be addressed in the creative and was it Jon Favreau took the time to think about that? It was something that was discussed as we knew it was going to have impact on the show, but at the same time, what has been at the heart of the show are the two characters, Din Djarin and Grogu, so ultimately it felt like a servicing of that and around the Mandalorians. And then when they directly asked, is Cara Dune alive? He said, it's a big galaxy and we have many characters in it. Many characters are fighting for their screen time. We'll just have to see as the season unfolds what adventures there are. But it's a great character. Someone who, they're talking like Trump.
I love
someone who was vital to Din Djarin's beginnings.
Mitt Romney,
we'll see if
Trump
he
is
was
right
evolved
too, yeah.
beyond that. Now season 3 is mainly dealing with the Mandalorians and the Mandalorian saga.
It's a big universe. It's a big galaxy.
Yeah.
They say that like
Got
we
lots of
didn't
characters
we
fighting
didn't
screen
watch any Star Wars in which Reva became like a big part of the storyline when it wasn't her show either.
No one even, like, there wasn't even a fake AstroTurf campaign for her to get a spin-off or anything, because she was just that bad in the role.
But the funny thing about this is
like, it's a great character. Cara Dune is the best character. I won't say whether she was alive or not, but
is Gina Carano coming back? Cara Dune is great. Like they want to say anything but her name because they're afraid it will inspire demons to come forward, which it will. To be fair, like the people that attacked her are the worst type of people on the internet.
This Deadline article is the worst, where it's like, well, she made extremely controversial statements about Jews. She did no such thing.
I love it right here. It says,
it makes me so mad that this narrative is
like
still
as if
out
she's
there.
saying the same things as Ye.
Somebody says,
yes.
The very first comment is great. It says, this is her anti-Semitic comment. Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Yeah, I love that was like the controversial statement.
And this called it denigrating to cultures
I mean,
and
I think
religion.
it's kind of an intellectually lazy statement because your political
It wasn't even a
views aren't
statement
the
of
same
hers. It
thing
was
as
like an
your race,
infographic.
but-
It wasn't even an info. It was like an infographic. It wasn't even her statement.
No, yeah, I know. She was
Like-
she just screenshotted it from somewhere and posted
and
it.
it wasn't even it is a perfectly fair statement to make that, like, hey, you're being told to no longer look at people as people, but as a part of a larger group.
Yeah, I totally get that. I just don't know if it made that much sense. Like it's just like your political views aren't an immutable characteristic.
The point
about
is,
it.
it doesn't matter. The point is, you don't lose your job over something
pharmaceutical
stupid like
now
this.
is.
And it wasn't really about this in the end anyway. It became about the beep bop boop Twitter crap and her
Of
having
course.
to do her struggle session where she has to go onto a
And
Zoom.
she retweeted a Joe Rogan thing.
And, which it's really funny too because I was just watching. Like I was looking up David Boreanaz on Instagram yesterday because I was like, because he's fairly based, right? And
is he?
I mean, yes.
I didn't know that.
Well, he's on SEAL Team, and like most of the dudes on SEAL Team, from what I've heard, are all fairly, if not conservative, libertarian, and whatnot. And he doesn't post very much. He's got like 6 posts total, but he had like 2 story posts, and one of them was about like Twitter getting roasted for like censoring doctors. And I'm like, in his field, that's a fairly hard thing to post and expect to get away with. But he's kind of found himself in this weird like middle ground, like maybe just because he's been in the industry so long or something, and he's also a producer, but he just gets to do it and he doesn't seem to affect him. But he's also doing shows that are about the military, and he's probably working with people that are at least, if not like-minded.
CIA confirmed.
Yes, exactly. He works for the government. So to me, like what she said wasn't controversial.
No.
We can argue about whether it was accurate or not, but it wasn't controversial. It's just when the mob comes for you, they come for you.
Yeah.
And they
I
came
think
for
it's
her.
sort of like when we were talking about Roseanne Barr and her tweet where like they'll do anything but actually show what she tweeted. They'll just refer to it so that you assume it's worse than it actually was.
And Pedro Pascal made his comments that were just as inflated, that were far worse.
Yeah, and inaccurate.
Yeah,
like it was a picture falsely attributed to something.
Exactly.
And that's what they accused her of. It's like, well, she posted something factually inaccurate. It's like, so did he.
And
he did
we
the
don't
same
even need to
thing.
get started about
he's an unproblematic daddy, so.
But we don't even need to get started with the Lucasfilm story group and how nuts all of those people were, or Kathleen Kennedy. Like, it's just
some of these
bad.
people in the comments are really mad at her. One person said, "Dear Gina Carano, maybe you should have prioritized self-preservation over your issues with self-destructive impulse control.
What they mean
Disney would have let it go as they have with other actors who have said dumb stuff if you had just agreed to do what they asked you to do."
Bend the knee.
Can you imagine saying this?
And what they're saying is like, if you would have just prioritized being a coward.
How does that boot taste?
Yeah. Like, to be fair, like, Evangeline Lilly didn't apologize for her vaccine comments, as far as I know, and they never did anything to her.
Selective enforcement.
Yeah, selective enforcement.
But
so
also, has a bit more
clout.
Clout, yeah.
Like, Evangeline Lilly was allowed to make her comments.
But they did make her get a lesbian haircut, so
they're like, all right, fine, we'll let you stay in the movie, but you're gonna be ugly while you're in it. How about
She'd
that?
been a great Tinkerbell.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, that's a good idea. Also, like, but it's also funny too because if you talk to any of the members of the set of the show, they all talk about Gina Carano because she's a sweetheart. Carl Weathers defended her.
Yep.
Of course,
did Pedro Pascal.
Only the old actors can defend you because they're old. And, I think did Billy D. Williams defend her? I don't remember if Billy D. Williams defended her. Do you remember the whole hullabaloo about Billy D. Williams saying he had like a sensitive side, so they said he was non-binary?
Yeah.
That was like that was at like the height of the insanity. Like Billy D. Williams, who's like 70 years old, has no clue what the hell non-binary is, and he's like, yeah, you know, I got a masculine side and a feminine side. They're like, non-binary, confirmed. They them pronouns. He's like, what?
Yeah. I haven't watched Mandalorian, but a lot of these people are saying that she was the worst character on the show and that Cara Dune was like very one-dimensional and boring.
Leave Mama Gina alone.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would agree. Sorry, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real there. I wasn't, when she left, I was like, it sucks.
So like you could have acted a certain way that would have like given you a spin-off opportunity.
Well, she was going to
But then it would have just been the same.
Yeah,
it would have just been the same, you know, pink sludge that all the other Disney Star Wars content is.
The first season of Mandalorian, though, is actually really good.
They should have had Cara Dune become an MMA fighter.
I have like intense fan theories about that show. I was very invested when it first came out. It was before I was.
What were your theories?
I think that they were going to go for this like repeat of the Skywalker twins thing, and they were going to make Cara Dune and the Mandalorian brother and sister, because they very much hint that he's from Alderaan. They very much hint that, or they straight up say that she's from a royal family on Alderaan. He's from a royal family on Alderaan. His name is Din Djarin, but he is only told that, and there's an implication that maybe his name's actually Jaren Dune.
Okay. Oh, I think I did read that somewhere.
Yes.
So glad I'm not into Star Wars.
Yeah. Like, but for those, like, do you think it bothered her? Like, somebody who's like doesn't want to keep her mouth shut. She's very clearly outspoken. Like, that has to be a certain type of soul sucking to be somebody who wants to be heard and wants to speak out, and then to like look at the paycheck and be like, do I keep my mouth shut? And she just decides no. But that takes.
I think there's even more to it than that, where she knows that there's this big media machine, but she loves the people she's working with, which she has said. She's told Ben Shapiro that, like, I loved everybody I worked with. I had no bad experiences until they did that struggle session thing, and she was like, well, this is
oh my
messed
gosh
up.
This other comment is like delusional. Said, it isn't fair to be a conservative knowing that the bulk of the entertainment industry leads liberal, just as it isn't fair to people who don't adhere to Christianity to live in a country which overwhelmingly favors Christianity, or to gay people living in a country overwhelmingly straight.
Shut up.
To even compare those.
I love how delusional the first part is, as if this country's
overwhelmingly Christian,
religious. Like, give me a freaking break.
Even the people who self-identify on the census as Christian, are they like trying to force it down your throat? I don't think so.
No, well, I mean, and that's, I guess a lot of people would make the argument like that's how it falls out of favor, right? Because it's not being shoved down your throat, and a lot of us are losing. Like somebody like me loses because I just want to be left alone and I want to leave you alone, but they don't want to do that. They want to shove it down your throat. They want to pile the propaganda on. I actually got annoyed last night when I was watching like the last of season 3 of Buffy, and I realized how good it is, just how incredible and how actually feminist the show is. Like, I made the mistake once of saying like it wasn't a feminist character, it was just a really good character, but it is a very feminist character, and how they have to keep shoving it down your throats now as if it's stunning and brave and new, and it's not. It's not stunning. It's not brave. It's certainly not new, but they just don't know when to quit, right? And this is your pinnacle. You reached your peak in 1997. You will never reach those heights again, at least in this type of media. And it's infuriating as somebody who does want to just be left alone and to just not have you shove your ideology down my throat, understanding now that that's a losing battle. That my belief system is essentially a losing battle because you can't do that. Like, you're not allowed to just be neutral anymore. And that's awful. Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you think they recast her? And who, okay, how about this?
Depends.
Who would you, if you were forced to, who would you cast in her place?
Who would I cast in? That's really tough. Well, you know what? That's impossible to do because there are no attributes to this character. It was like, how do we put Gina Carano in a Star Wars?
Yeah. So just some no-name chick.
No, they love WWE people there. Get Ronda Rousey. It'd be awful. Yeah. Or Ronda Rousey's a horrible actress.
Yeah, I don't know. That's too. No, when it was just her. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, we really want this person, so you just can't.
Well, why did they specifically want her?
Because she was very big at the time, coming off of MMA.
Yeah, well, like, I say that because that's what they said. Like, Jon Favreau was like, I knew I wanted to work with her, and like,
they just came up with
a character for her. Yeah.
Cast, they said cast another based wrestler. Cast AJ Styles as Cara Dune. How about that? That's a guy, but we could just have a guy play. That doesn't matter anymore. It's Hollywood. It doesn't matter anymore. Hollywood doesn't care. But he's got long hair, so it's fine. It's fine. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.